training is a really important concept in dog training. It allows you to mark the moment your dog's behavior earned a reward. There are two common types of markers that are used for dog training. One is a sound, such as a clicker, or some people even use a pen. And other people use a verbal marker. I use yes. Now the reason why I don't use good is yes means your behavior earned a food reward. And I still want to be able to tell my dog when it does the right thing, but didn't earn a reward. It's feedback. Good job, right? So I want to be able to reserve what a good girl for when she does a good thing, but it didn't quite earn a reward. Example, you've been working on sit stays with your dog. So you cue your dog to sit. She does. Yes, pop a treat in your mouth. Go to the end of your leash, but before you give her release word, break, or you call her to come or cue her to down, she gets up. You go, no, right? You gave her feedback. You gave her that correction. Goes right back into a sit. What a good girl. That's a smart puppy. But because she broke the sit, you're not going to reward her with, food or whatever. You're going to give her feedback. Good job. Verbal praise to let her know that she's doing the right thing, but she hasn't earned something. Okay. So that's a very important concept to understand. Now, you want the dog to make the association that means something. And how you do that is you're going to get a bunch of treats and you're going to go treat, treat. It's always the click, then the treat. So, treat. It's not as your dog takes the treat, and the reason why is you want this to predict food. And you'll do the same thing, yes, treat, yes, treat. So, do a few in a row. Wait a minute, do a few more in a row. Then have a bunch of treats on you and walk around. Your dog looks at you, and be quick in the beginning, so it's about a second wait. Do that a few times. Dog looks at you, dog's chewing bone, lays on its bed. As long as the dog isn't doing anything you don't want her to do, and treat. Basically, after a couple dozen times, your dog, when he hears the sound, or yes, will start to wag his tail or look up at you in anticipation because it's made the association that predicts food. Then what you can do is use it in training. So you lure the dog into a sit, butt hits the ground, yes, pop the treat in his mouth. It's really good for when you want to reward the dog and you can't get that reward to them within that second. It starts to bridge that time. So let's say you're working on the recall. This is really a really good way to use this training. Dog several feet away, Biscuit, here! Biscuit turns around, yes! And you offer the treat at your leg. So he has to come all the way back to get it, and of course he's unleashed to reinforce. But that's a really good way to get that quick head turn and let him know that turning back towards you and giving you that attention is something that earned him the food reward, and you're going to, of course, follow through with it. You're working on loose leash walking. Dog's at your side, yes, treat, yes, treat. You turn, he turns with you, you mark the head turn, yes, off the treat at your leg. You're sending your dog to a spot. So you squat on your bed. Your dog already knows when you point, all four go on the bed, gets a treat. So now you're working on a little bit of distance. You send your dog away. The minute all 4 feet touch the bed, click. Yes, good job. And give him a treat. Toss it or approach. So that's how you can use that. I highly, highly, highly recommend people who are training their dogs use a clicker and or the voice, the verbal marker, yes. Some people are just not going to really be comfortable using a clicker. It's really good if you're sticking with training for a lot of different either sports or tricks, or you have a nervous dog. Okay, important terms to remember, because I'm going to be using them a lot. Reward your dog, pay your dog. Meaning your dog just earned a food reward or playtime. So dog did a good job, pay your dog. Give your dog feedback. Sometimes that means, yeah, good girl. You're walking and working on things, and it's easy to sort of forget to let your dog know when they did a good thing, especially because I'm like, don't talk at your dog. Don't keep talking to your dog or talk at your dog. You want words to be, efficient and really help communicate. Dogs don't understand language. But when your dog's at your side and looks at you, what a good job. Or yes, give your dog a treat, pay for that behavior. It also might mean your dog is trying to offer you a behavior that isn't going to work to get a reward. So in that case, you're going to say, try again. Or just no. And let your dog know, try something else. Or if your dog is doing something you really want them to stop, no. Meaning don't do that behavior again. stop that thing. So give your dog some feedback. Sometimes when you're using leash, it's going to be the leash. You're working on polite leash manners. You're on the prom con, the dog starts to pull, give it a little pressure. All right, don't allow the constant pressure. Give it feedback. Let him know when he's making that decision. Criteria, what your dog has to do to earn the reward. If you don't know, how is your dog supposed to know? So keep that in mind. And of course, remember what your reward system is and what your dog is willing to earn. And your release word, that's a big one. That is as important as any other command in training. The release word means you are free to go about your business. Go be a dog. It's anytime you tell your dog sit or down or place, there is an implied stay. That means do not move from that position until I release you or tell you to do something else. Mine is break in kind of an upbeat tone, so it's different than the rest of the commands or how I sound when I'm talking to people. So break means you can get up and move. If you never give your dog a release command, you can't expect your dog to stay.